Hey there, good day YouTube. Welcome back, BT Sports Cards. Today I want to share with you my first ever graded card submission return. So I took a crack at sending in 75 cards, 75 card bulk submission, sent it into KSA, the Canadian Grading Company, and this was a test of, first test of just some eye appeal stuff that I wanted to kind of give myself a chance to just see what my view on the cards were and what they might come back with from a graded perspective. Didn't really set an expectation of 8s, 9s, 10s, etc., but wanted to kind of just get a sense of how certain cards would come back. I have noticed a trend of cards increasing sales activity in KSA slabs here on eBay lately, and I thought in the space that I've noticed these trending, I'll put some cards in myself. So happy to share with you a little bit, including at the end of the video, my own personal PC Wayne Gretzky 7980 OPC Rookie. So I'll share that one last. So let's get started. So first up, sent in this 1984-85 Gretzky card, KSA 7. Centering, you know, not too bad. There is some typical edge wear there that you see with these OPC cards, and the back, you know, a little bit off center, of course. 7 seemed a little bit on the kind of strict side. I thought maybe this thing might come in as an 8, but you know, I'll take it. Second up from that same series, Chelios rookie card, 7.5 near mint plus. Centering, again, not too bad at all. A little bit of a rough cut on the left edge there, but yeah, all in all, you know, nice looking card. Most of these will find their way into the store here at some point. Same season, same set. Here's an Andrechuk rookie card, near mint 8, KSA 8. Probably related to the crispness of the edges there. The centering appears to be similar to some of the other ones that I saw there. Here's another Gretzky coming up. Same year with the All-Star card, near mint 7. You know, for all the criticisms that I can read from time to time around KSA and their grading, I would say that I found their grading on these submissions to be, you know, fairly strict, fairly of high quality. You know, I can see now that I have them in hand, you know, some of the other criticisms around the quality of the slab itself and those sort of things versus PSA. So I get that. These are, you know, mid-level kind of graded cards, but, you know, all in all, I thought it was there certainly wasn't any freebies in this submission, as you'll see as I go through this here. So here's a team leader card, 7.5, from the 84-85 season set. Here's another Gretzky. So as you can tell, I wasn't shy about sending in Gretzky's condition. Didn't really care about the condition. I kind of have a view that, you know what, any of these cards of Gretzky's in the 80s, I think they should all be graded. And just to protect and preserve the quality of them. And, you know, the grades are what they are, but, you know, for the record, if you will, for history's sake, you know, it'd be nice to get as many of these graded and slabbed and recorded as we can. Here's a 6.5 on the goal leader card. Another Gretzky coming up, a little bit better. Near mint 8, card number 383. This would be the league leader there. Power play goals. And as you know, if you're familiar with this set, there's a bunch of these kind of cards from these subsets, if you will, league leaders, all-stars, etc. I'll start to put some of these slabs down here. Here's another Gretzky, 7.5. This would be the assist leader card. And so, you know, again, you look at it from a centering perspective and the like, you know, not too bad at all. Typical OPC cut stuff, but so I was surprised given everything I'd heard about KSA leading up to this. I thought they were fairly graded. As you can see here, here's an 8 on the scoring leaders card, and you're going to see this a little bit of all over the map. Moving on, 87-88 OPC rookie card, Mike Vernon, 8.5 near mint plus, and that's a pretty nice sharp looking card. Again, tried to move over into some of these 80s sets. You'll see a lot of this in this submission, a lot of cards from the 80s. Again, just trying to get, for posterity's sake, just get these Gretzky's graded as well. So here's a 7.5 on the 87 card, card number 53. I think this one's nicely centered, well centered. Edges aren't too bad. I'm a little bit disappointed this one came in at a 7.5. I thought this one, if anyone had a shot at a 9, it should have been, would have been this one maybe. Oh well. Carrying on in that same set, here's a Patrick Roy near mint, mint 8. Stevie Y, another 8. Luc Robitaille, 8. Rookie card there. Another one from that same set. Here's Mario, 8.5. Again, this was one I thought was certainly somewhere going to be 9, somewhere 9, maybe even an outside chance at a 10. But as you'll see as I work through the submission, they weren't overly generous with 10s on this submission, that's for sure. Here's a Ranford rookie card, near mint 8. Checklist. These checklists came in less than I thought they would as well. And I granted the centering's a little bit off, certainly top to bottom it's off, and there's some edge wear, no normal edge wear, but here's a 6 for that 80-81 series checklist there. Scoring leaders from that 80-81 set, it came in at a 6.5, 6.5. This one's got Gretzky and Lafleur on it, along with Marcel Dion. Mid-grade card. Probably going to break even on that. You know, same thing here. Here's a 6 from the other one. This would be the assist leaders featuring Gretzky prominently there. But again, always good to have this kind of recorded and graded. You know, the other thing that I did when I took an approach to these KSAs is I also looked at it as a risk kind of management process, where some of these cards, if they came in high enough, you know, I definitely consider cracking and resubmitting over to PSA. But one of the things that I found about KSA cards, here's a Gartner here, 6.5 rookie. This one was less than I had hoped. Was that maybe, you know, it can really serve as a risk mitigation kind of option too, prior to PSA submissions. And so, you know, knowing full well that, you know, PSA grades are typically going to come in lower than what KSA does is what I'm hearing. Here's this Gretzky second year card here, 6.5, which was a disappointment to me. I would have thought this should have been in a 7 to 8 contender. But at least it eliminates some of the risk, you know, relative to purchasing a raw card. At least you know a starting point, at least about the card's condition. You're not kind of just doing it blindly by buying raw. So, you know, this was kind of my approach this time around. Here's another Gretzky and another one coming up from that 80-81. Here's the All-Star card, came in at a 6.5. So again, centering will be, you know, part of that. Certainly the left side is off. So fair enough. Guy Lafleur would be another one that I was trying to get some additional cards into the grading slabs. Again, off center, this side, right side is thin, I guess. But, you know, a lot of Habs collectors out there, a lot of Canadians collectors. And Guy himself has his own fair share of collecting hobby love out there. Here's a 7 for the base 10, number 10 card out of that same set for him, for his Canadians card. So that was 75 cards slab submission I sent in. That's 25 right there. So carrying on, going back to the 84-85, here's a batch of those kind of more common, higher value rookie cards out of that set. Here's a Doug Gilmore. He came in at an 8. A nice card, crisp card again. This one will hit the store here shortly. Here's Cam Neely. Disappointed in this one, 6.5. You know, in looking at it, I'm not clear in terms of why that is. Centering looks decent enough. It's, you know, not perfect, but edges, corners look pretty good. So, you know, maybe there was something surface-wise that I didn't pick up on when I sent in. But, you know, this being my first submission, you know, lessons learned here for sure. And I'll take it into my next kind of time I consider sending any stuff in. Really love this card. Love those Mike Liut cards from the 80s with that mask and those white skates. And just the vibe and the look of his cards. Here's his rookie card from 80-81, near mint 8. Now, obviously, famous player agent. Here's a famous rookie from that set. Here's one of the Messier rookies. I think I have a couple in this set, in this submission here. This one came in at a 6, and certainly top to bottom is off. Left, right, not too bad. And, you know, there's no creases and stuff. So, you know, I'd have to say disappointed in a 6. I would have hoped for 7 minimum on this card. This will still have value, of course, being what it is one of those famous rookie cards. Here's another Gretzky Team Leaders card, again, 6. I would have hoped for a little bit better there. I'm going to have to improve my pre-screening on my next submissions. Another Gartner rookie, another 6. Gretzky 4 VG. So Clearly centering an issue, a little bit of a print stain at the bottom left there, you can see there. So, lesson learned on me, rookie mistake, pay a little bit more attention to detail. Again, still, I still think it's worth valuing and getting Gretzky's graded, so regardless of conditions. So, we'll go with that. Running into a batch of Sakic rookies from the 89-90 set. So, here's an example of some of the criticisms KSA gets, I guess, for attention to detail. This one would be one of them. Not only is it only a 6.5, it's funny, I bought this lot on eBay, and it was described and listed as mint condition cards, and you're going to see a run here of disappointing grades on these ones. But look at the label, OPC 113, and look at the card. It's a Topps card. And the reason I wanted to send the Topps in, because if you're familiar with this card and this set, the Topps cards for his rookie are a little bit more rare and a little bit more valuable than the OPCs actually at times. But in this case, this didn't pan out for the grade that I was hoping to get here. Another one coming up. Another 6.5. This one, at least they properly noted it as a Topps. So 2 Topps. This one's a little bit better. Topps yet again, 7.5. I think I bought a lot of about 5 or 6 of them, and maybe ended up sending in less than that. There's a couple that weren't worthy of grading. Here's Mario from 89-90, 7.5, near mint plus. Same set, Patrick Waugh, 8.5. I'll take that. Nice crisp card. A lot of Patrick Waugh collectors out there, of course. Going back to Sakic, OPC, 8.5. Things getting a little bit better. By eye, these cards looked pretty close to identical to me when I was sending them in. And, you can see here the grades. I'm running from 6.5 to 8.5 here. So clearly my eye is not at the level it needs to be yet for these things. Kirk Mclean rookie card, same set. A lot of Canucks collectors. And I find this card has some popularity out there still, even after all these years. Sticking with the Canucks, same rookie card, Trevor Linden, 9. Happy with that. Some folks out there that'll be interested in that. Stevie Y, 8.5, 89-90 OPC. Moving on, Brian Leech rookie, probably one of the more prominent rookie cards from that class, 8.5. What a hope for a 9 or better. I'll take it. One more Sakic, OPC, 8.5 again. So put that out with the Sakic run here. Top. The great one, 8.5. Again, these half grades, it would be nice if KSA, like some of the other graders, if you're going to go and use half grades, it would be nice if they had some sort of subgrading on there to kind of illustrate why it gets what it gets. Here's another Guy. Now, similar to the Gretzky thing, when I get across some of these classic, Hall of Famers from the 70s, I'm going to try to just get as many of them in a slab, protected value, certify the kind of the grade for as many as I can, whether they come in at 8s, 9s, 7s. I'm not really too fussed about that stuff. Here's Brett Hall from the Blues, 9. Moving on, another rookie card here, Theo Fleury, 8.5. Again, it should be, I would have thought it would have been easier to get closer. If there was any cards I thought I might have a shot at getting 10s at, it would have been from that 89-90 set. And then, so I started to move out of the 80s vintage, and I had a couple of pickups that, again, going back to that risk mitigation kind of view of things, I thought, well, I'm going to dabble here with these cards on this and just see where they come in at. I may end up cracking them and resubmitting, we'll see. But I picked up 2013-2014 Prism. This one's of Alex Ovechkin. It came in at a 9. I had 2 of them. I'm going to show you the other ones here right after. But I thought, you know what? This is early years of Prism, if I'm not mistaken, in hockey. This is, I think, the 2nd year. Clearly, Ovi and Sid are well on their way to the Hall, and with Ovi checking and chasing down Gretzky for that goals record, I could see this, any of his cards of decent grade, particularly early year stuff, could have some increasing value over time. Certainly, it's not a rookie or anything like that. I know that, but so then moving on into the next one I sent in 2 of his, and here I got one a 9.5, almost perfect. So really happy with this result here. Again, no surprise with modern cards being a little bit more higher quality than the vintage ones, no surprise. And then, of course, I did send in a Sid as well, and that one came back 9.5 as well. So, I'm happy about that. So I'm not sure if these are going to be PC or holds, or if I'll go and I'll list them in the store, make them available. I'm not quite sure. I think these ones might be a little bit more of a longer term hold. So that's 50 cards now, down to the final 25 of my submission. And again, I'm going to end with my Gretzky Rookie, OPC Rookie. So, but before we get there, here's from 80-81, another team, second team All-Star card, another Gretzky. Again, a little bit disappointing from this year's set of 5. No, I get it. Look at that left edge. It's brutal. But the rest of the card is actually, in really good shape. It's crisp. Corners, pretty sharp. Miscut being the biggest flaw here. And I get that. So, the grade is what it is. Moving on to 88-89. Hall of Famers. The odd rookie card here and there. Here's Stevie Y with an 8. One of those rookies, Brendan Shanahan, 8.5. Again, would have been nice to get a 9, but 8.5 it is. First year Gretzky with the Kings in the Kings card. There's an 8.5. This again would have been right after first card issued after the big trade. Be interested in your comments if you want to leave me any comments if you were around in those days, and if you remember where you were when that trade was announced. I'd love to be able to hear that. Here's the big rookie from that year. Here's my Brett Hall. It came in at a 7.5. Like, really, could I not have gotten this thing to at least an 8? You look at it, left to right centering, and I guess top bottom as well. I guess a little bit there is probably what's going to take it there. But everything else about this card is just beauty. Very sharp, very crisp. But hey, I get it. It is what it is. Cutting over to 90-91, sent in a stack of Belfour rookies. I'd seen some good movement there in terms of some of his graded prices. And I tell you, again, similar to that Sakic run there, boy, I was disappointed in these grades. I sent in a few of them, and I got a wide variance in grades on what should be fairly consistent cardstock. I think this one might even be amongst the best I had. Here's an 8. Okay, so maybe not. This was probably the better one here, 8.5. Belfour rookie. Another one, 8. You put that 8 and that 8 and that 8.5 side by side, you'd be hard pressed to be able to see any difference. And then it starts to decline. Here's a 7. One more. 8.5. I don't know, for some reason I thought results here would have been a little bit stronger. Crossing back to that 84-85 season, some of those other high notable rookie cards. Here's a LaFontaine, 8.5. Here's the Stevie Y rookie, a 7.5. Again, these half grades kind of leaves you wanting more a little bit. I looked at this card and I thought, gee whiz, this thing's got to have a chance of getting 8+. I get it. Centering's not quite there, but pretty close. And typical OPC cuts. So there's got to be some leeway there. I would have expected for that. There's really no. I know there's 10s out there, but really, you're going to get this from that series. So 7.5 it is. Another Gretzky, 8.5, record breaker. Nice card. Another Stevie Y, 8. Rookie scoring leader. So I guess an RC card, I guess, is how that would be designated. Threw in a couple from 72, 73, just a couple, higher value names, more popular names. I got this Bobby Hall here, came in at a 6.5. Again, don't we all think we're going to get better grades than what we do, I guess, but I thought this one had a chance of coming in a little bit better than that, but still a nice card. Golden Jet, of particular interest to me. I am from Winnipeg, so here's the assist leaders card. It has Bobby Orr, 4. So it's got a crease at the top right corner, and I knew that going in, and I knew that that was going to come in that 4 to 5 range, quite likely. Kind of have the same sort of view Zohar as I would Gretzky. I'd like to try to get as many of these slabbed graded as I can. You know, whether I take another crack at KSA or maybe I look at a PSA submission on my next go around, we'll see. But carrying on, here's a 7 for the scoring leaders. You know, same sort of guys on the card, just a different card. Espo, Orr, and Rattel. And then I had one of his base card from that set, card number 129, came in as a 6. Again, you can see the bit of the miscut on the right side of the rough edge. This is one of the things that I've noticed on these KSA slabs when you compare them to PSA is just that black insert holder is kind of, you know, not the greatest quality, I guess you could find. But you know what? These slabs are popular and they serve, I think, a lot of that market, especially in Canada, that PSA is really kind of abandoned by virtue of their price increases. And for people that want to have graded cards in their PC collection, especially in the mid price range, I still think there's a lot of value in these KSA slabs. And that's kind of one of the approaches I've been thinking about and trying to take here by doing this, is build out my store inventory and the diversity in my store inventory. Going back to the 80-81 year, here's another checklist I took a crack at. Again, unmarked. 6.5, you know, I don't know. Would have been happier with 7. But it is what it is. As I've been saying, here's a 5. Again, the Gretzky factor, just get it slabbed and go from there. Scoring leader, what I like about this one again is still it's got Lafleur and Wiener on there. Here's another example of that, 6.5. This would be the assist leaders card. Yeah, I'll buy the centering argument here for sure. I get it. Going back to rookie cards, I did send in a Ray Bourque rookie. This one came in at a 5. You know, relative to raw, this is probably going to get me to break even. Maybe I can get a little bit north to break even, but versus selling it raw. But would have liked to seen this one maybe come in a touch better, but still nice to get it slabbed. 3 more cards left. Here's Gretzky, another one from the second year card. This one came in at a 5. It's card number 250. You know, some soft corners here, I guess, a little bit. They're not crystal sharp. But from a centering perspective, I would say this card's actually in pretty decent shape. It's got a little bit of a corner ding on the top right corner, which is going to affect it. So the grade is probably an accurate grade. But this is going to be an affordable card for a Gretzky collector. You know, it's as close to the rookie card as you're going to get. This is a second year card. So keep your eyes on the store there. That one will probably be available at some point once I do a little bit of research. One more Messier rookie. This one came in at a 5. My approach to this was kind of just, again, this is a card that has appreciated in value quite a bit in the last year. And I thought, you know what, let's just get it slabbed, get it certified at a grade level of some sort. And yeah, and so it's done that. So this card certainly won't deteriorate anymore now that it's slabbed. And I'm sure for some Messier collectors and Oilers collectors and set collectors from that year, this will be a reasonable addition, reasonable cost addition to a PC that's out there. And so that is card number 74. We're down to my last card. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a preamble on this. So this was the 79-80 OPC Gretzky rookie. And this was pack pulled by me. I picked it from a pack myself when I was a kid back in 1979, 1980. I kept it relatively in good condition over the years. A little bit of plastic sleeves and binders. Pulled it out. In the last 10 years or so, it's been in, you know, a sleeve and a top loader, that kind of thing. And this would be another example of what I meant by getting a Gretzky at least graded. And let's just see what the KSA grade came in at. And in doing so, you know, maybe that'll help guide me whether I want to kind of crack it and send it in to PSA. And knowing full well the difference between PSA values and KSA values. So this one is definitely PC, not available for sale, not available for trade. Just too much kind of emotional attachment to this card for various reasons. So here's the back of it. Not much of that. You know, you hear about the blue streak thing, the blue lines and those sort of things. Didn't really see any evidence of that here. But as I reveal it over and I turn over to the top of the card, I was really happy with this. I got a 5. It came in as a 5. And, you know, I thought that was a fair grade. You know, certainly if you see the centering there, it's certainly not perfect. As I show you a little bit closer, there is some, you know, whitening and corner wear around the corners. But all in all, you know, I think the color in this card is nice. The gloss is still fairly sharp. You know, it's been out of sunlight and, you know, smoke-free home and all those sort of things over the years. So, you know, I'm really happy with this. I don't know what this might come in at with a PSA submission. If you're watching the video, if you wouldn't mind giving me your thoughts and views on this one, I'll leave it up here for a few more minutes. But in the comments, I'd really love to hear what you might have to think about what this might come in at if I were to send it into PSA. It's definitely an option I'm still going to consider. At least for now, I've got the thing protected. And at least I've got a starting point in terms of a range estimate for grade. And so for me, again, that kind of just mitigates some of the risk I might have, and rather than just sending in raw and being a kind of a newer person to grading like I am. So really happy with this. Like I said, every other card that I've shown you here today, you know, will eventually make its way into my store, BT Sports Cards. This one's not. This one's staying with me. This one's going to get to my kids at some point in time down the road as well. But yeah, really happy with that. So, you know, here you go. That's my first ever KSA submission, guys. Happy to share 75 cards with you. And like I said, these ones will be kind of hitting my store BT Sports Cards in the next little bit as I kind of work my way through this. So this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. I got another stack ready to go. I'll probably do a little bit of a different approach on the next one. I'll probably be trying to maybe spend a little bit of time and giving myself an internal target of maybe 7s or better. So I'll try not to send anything in that I think might obviously come under a 7. I don't have any more Gretzky rookies to send in, so, you know, it should be a little bit easier to vet that stuff out. So, happy to have you watch the video. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, as all YouTubers do, we all appreciate, hitting the like button. That does help us with the algorithms and just gets a little bit more exposure for our channel. If you like the kind of content that I've shown in the past few videos that I've had, feel free to subscribe. I will post with some frequency. I'm not going to be a daily poster, but, you know, perhaps weekly, you know, week to 10 days as I get mail days in and those sort of things. I like to share with you all what I'm buying, why I'm buying. And then if you happen to be somebody who is interested in buying cards, then at least it gives you a little bit of preview of what might hit my eBay store. Again, BT Sports Cards there. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll hit you up again when I get another interesting mail day coming in so I can share with you guys. And until then, I'm out. Cheers.